The Rajasthan Royals were one of the best teams in the last auction cycle, yet somehow they messed it all up. Well, the Rajasthan Royals are currently near the bottom of the table. They became the second team to get knocked out of the IPL, and they only have 3 wins in 12 games. But it's not just the fact that they've lost a lot, it's also just their approach towards everything. And they've had some really tough games to explain, and it's mainly just 3 big regrets. First up, they had a Super Over loss against the Delhi Capitals while chasing just 9 in the last over. Now, their target was just 189. That's 6 wickets in hand, and yet they left 9 for the last over, knowing Mitchell Starc was going to bowl it. He bowled a good over, they only scored 8, and boom, super over, boom, they lost. Disappointing. Okay, it happens. This is an inexperienced side. Maybe things will get better. The very next game, last over against LSG, once again, chasing 9 runs. This time the target was 8 runs less. And yet once again, they only lost 4 wickets in the first 19 overs. Avish Khan bowled a good over and they lost by 2 runs. So they fumbled 2 games in a row while being in a completely dominant position, just because they had lacked any intent to look to finish the game off earlier. You, me, and even the kid playing in the park knows that you don't take the game to the last ball unless you have to. Now the third big regret was the loss against RCB. They were chasing over 200, but Jaiswal was on fire. He scored 49 of just 19, and at the end of 9 overs, RR were 110 for 2. Then Parag got out and they ended up being 194 for 9. From a commanding position, they ended up losing by 11 runs, and that was just disappointing. Now, after they got knocked out, they did have the really close game against KKR where they lost by 1 run, but I'm not going to count it because they were behind the game a lot. It was a really good fight, and it's less of a regret because they'd already been knocked out by then. So what exactly is going on? Well, they messed it up, and how? Jurel and Hedmire both combined went for 32 crores. That's how much their retention costs to the RR purse. Even though they only went for 25 crores, retaining that extra 4th and 5th player cost them a total of 32 crores. Now both are good players, but not on that level. Especially when you consider the fact that on the other end, they lost Butler, who already this season has 500 runs, Bolt, who already this season has 18 wickets, and Chahal, who is arguably one of the best bowlers in IPL history. And yet, with all these players going, even for someone like Ashwin, they did not bring any experience to replace them. So they went completely for youth. And I know this is what Rahul Dravid loves, but you need a balance. Anyways, so obviously they still had some promising signs. And for me, Jaiswal's consistency this IPL was finally back to where it should be. He had 550s and he had one score of 49 and he had a really good showing for himself. Vaibhav Suryavanshi is just a revelation, must see TV. Anytime he's on, regardless of who you support, you have to be watching the screen. Now, what are some pathways to success? They need to find a way to somehow reintegrate the balance of youth and experience. You won't get the top experienced players out there because they'll mostly be retained by their teams, but you still need to take a chance and maybe you'll find someone out there. Given the youth and inexperience, they need to give the batting lineup a template to follow. They need to structure their innings better, and especially if they're chasing, they need to know how to time the approach correctly. And lastly, they need to build or fix their Indian pace bowling contingent because that is really weak. Between their Indian pace and their field, they are maybe one of the weaker teams in the IPL because these are two highly valued aspects of any IPL side in the modern day. Now, what are some bright lights? Obviously, Jaiswal's been great, and so has Suryavanshi, but even Samson, while fit, has been lethal at top, and that means Arsenal still have a very potent top order. On the bowling front, Archer has been resembling the 2020 season. He's been very lucky to not get wickets all the time, and Archer's fielding has let him down, but he has been on fire and looks dangerous against any batsman. Parag and Jura are still good. I mean, they've shown glimpses, especially Parag with 6 sixes in a row. That's just historical stuff. It's never happened ever in the IPL before. But both need to learn how to pace innings. Jurel is way too slow while Parag is way too aggressive. They need to find a balance. And lastly, Hasranga with the ball has delivered really well. He stood up to his international reputation and covered RR's spin issues so that between him and Sikshana they can get wickets every now and then and to an extent even control the game. That's some bold predictions going ahead of the next few seasons. And I think on the watch list they need to add this player. That's David Miller. He's an experienced campaigner in the IPL and these chases are his specialty. It's his bread and butter and he is known for staying on the pitch and completing that. So is Josh Butler. I cannot believe they released him. But anyways, he looks lost at LSU right now. They have 3 overseas batsmen who are all top form. So it works perfectly. He's even an XRR player himself. The big release for them, in my opinion, should be Shumar Hedmire. He is a inexperienced version of Miller, so that's a good trade-off. Besides him, also Tushar Deshpande for 6.5 crores has been very disappointing. They need to find some replacement for him. And just any decent Indian bowler. And lastly, promise. I mean, this team is going to be playing on potential. So that means players will improve, but you don't know how quickly. It's hard to acquire stars, but these are stars in the making. During the cycle, you never know. 1-2 seasons time, this could be one of the most dangerous sides once again. And so with this team, we'll all be talking about the auction and the blunders and why they made the choices they made. But at this point, they just need to forget the auction, look at it and build. As is what I suspect they were planning all along. Besides, after having a few good seasons, one bad season is bound to happen, and it could just be heard of to play the chips correctly. In the meantime, this is the second IPL team review we've done this series. The first one being against Super Kings. Check that video and all the other videos we've put out on our IPL Mega playlist. In the meantime, if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time here on K Entertainment.